for being here. And once again, good morning. We're so glad that all of you could join us this morning. My name is Noel Hacegaba. I'm the Acting Deputy Executive Director and COO at the Port of Long Beach, and I'm pleased to serve as your Master of Ceremonies for today's annual State of the Port. I'm sure you're excited to hear about our achievements in 2013 and our outlook for 2014. But let me begin by asking you to stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Please place your right hand over your heart and repeat with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Thank you. The next public participation has proven to be a challenge in other venues and events with other audiences. But I have every confidence that this audience, you, will rise to the challenge. In a moment, I will be introducing some very important guests who are here with us today. And my challenge to you is that you hold your applause until I've concluded the introductions. Now, if your hands automatically come together at the sound of some of these names, or if you simply cannot resist the urge to applaud, I will allow you one clap. So let's practice. 1, 2, 3. See? We have the best audience in the world. We are so pleased and honored to have with us Congressman Alan Lowenthal. Well, I'll grade you when we get to the end. We're also pleased to have with us Congresswoman Janice Hahn, Assemblywoman Bonnie Lowenthal, Long Beach Vice Mayor Robert Garcia, Councilwoman Suja Lowenthal, Councilman Gary DeLong, Councilman James Johnson, and we're also pleased to have with us former Mayor Beverly O'Neill. With us this morning are also representatives from the offices of U.S. Senator Barbara Boxer, State Senator Ricardo Lara, State Senator Ted Lieu, State Senator Rod Wright, Assembly Member Isidore Hall, Assembly Member Anthony Rendon, and also a representative from the Long Beach Mayor's Office, Councilman Patrick O'Donnell, and Councilman Steve Neal. Thank you all for joining us this morning. Now let's give them a thunderous round of applause. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our Harbor Commissioners, the governing body for the Port of Long Beach. Let me begin by introducing Commission President Doug Drummond. We were making progress then. Vice President Rich Dines, Commissioner Susan Weiss, and our newest commissioner, Lorianne Farrell. In the Port's more than 100 history, there have been 65 men and women who have served on the Harbor Commission. And in addition to our current board, we have several of our former commissioners here as well, and we want to welcome you as well. So let's give them a clap. So please join me in thanking again the commissioners and the elected officials for their dedication, their leadership, and their vision. Thank you. Now it's my pleasure to invite Vice Mayor Robert Garcia to the podium to formally welcome you to this morning's event. Vice Mayor.
Well, good morning, Long Beach. Good morning, Long Beach. That's about a good morning. Good morning, and it's my pleasure to welcome you today. Mayor Foster is actually at the U.S. Conference of Mayors, but he sends his regards. And thank you all for being here today and being a part of our city's most important economy, trade and transportation. As we all know, the port is the economic engine of our country, with over 30,000 local jobs that he produces here in Long Beach alone. And as we all know, for our city to succeed, the port must succeed. And for our country to succeed, we must continue to build a regional infrastructure of ports, bridges, rail, to move our cargo across the country. And as our national economy rebounds, it's essential that our port remain competitive and that we maintain a global presence. We must continue to be aggressive as we recruit cargo and trade from across the country, and we need to be in capitals across, not just across our own capitals, not just here in the US, but across the world, selling Long Beach. And as we grow the port, we must never look backwards, but we must continue to make important environmental improvements, as we've done with the Green Port Policy, and continue to reduce port pollution. As we all know today, ships are cleaner, our aging truck fleet has been replaced, and we continue to move the port forward. And moving forward, the port and the city should refocus our efforts on cooperation and the incredible model that has got us through so many years here in the city of Long Beach. We have incredible opportunities ahead, including the hiring of an experienced and nationally respected executive director, the expansion of Middle Harbor, the construction of the new Gerald Desmond Bridge, and continuing investments in emissions reductions. And in addition, we have great challenges ahead of us, including new competition from Central America, unstable international markets, the reduction of national infrastructure spending, and of course, climate change. And these issues will require serious and thoughtful leadership, collaborative leadership, our leadership. We are all thankful at the city for the tremendous work that our harbor commissioners and our port staff do every single day. Let's give them another round of applause. And we're also thankful to all of you who provide such an important part of what we do every single day in Long Beach, and that's moving America's cargo across the country. Thank you for your commitment to Long Beach. I know that it's unwavering and it's commendable. Our future in Long Beach is bright, our future at the port is bright, and our best days here in the harbor are ahead of us. So thank you, and go Long Beach.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor Garcia. Now it's time for a special salute. One of the things that we all find special about Long Beach is the hospitality, the friendliness of its residents, and the people who work here. One group in particular is a great example of that. I'm talking about the International Seafarer Center of Long Beach and Los Angeles, a nonprofit volunteer organization. Thousands of ships call at the ports of Long Beach and Los Angeles each year, and with them, international crews from India, Russia, the Philippines, and other countries visit our port and our city. Coming from such faraway places, it's understandable that many of them feel overwhelmed when they arrive in Southern California. Most seafarers don't know this area and don't have the money, transportation, or language skills necessary to get around. They might want to just call home or relax for a few hours in a safe harbor. The International Seafarer Center of Long Beach and Los Angeles offers them that respite and fellowship. Let me show you a brief video so that you can see exactly what they do.
Seafarers often spend weeks and months at sea, separated from family, friends, and the comforts of home while working to deliver the goods that make our homes and lives more comfortable. Seafarers crew the thousands of vessels that come to the Port of Long Beach each year, and the first place many of them go as soon as they hit land is the International Seafarers Center.
It's a haven of rest for all the seafarers who come into our port, one of the largest ports in the United States, and we stand to serve them in any which way we can.
Founded more than 30 years ago, the Seafarers Center is a charitable, nonprofit organization that is as close to home as they will find during their long ocean journeys.
Yeah, it's hard because you are away from your family. It's not easy, adjusting yourself, thinking about them, But that's our work, It helps us a lot. I mean, especially for those who don't have the money to spend,
At the Seafarers Center, they can use free internet services, do their banking, purchase phone cards to connect with loved ones, play games, relax, purchase supplies and gifts, and occasionally bump into friends from around the world. There's also a non-denominational chapel that offers a wide variety of church services and a quiet place to read and reflect.
They come here, they are welcome, they can talk to us, so they feel like home. They touch the ground, and Cement Center is very important for them because they feel relaxed, they feel a little bit welcome, and they feel the warmth of some loving people.
To help these hard-working people make ends meet, the Seafarer Center offers a variety of services, including financial aid and even donated clothing and shoes.
The money they make on these ships are pretty good compared to the per capita income of that nation. But when you come out of the United States, with the money they make, it doesn't buy much. So they're very frugal in what they shop, and we help them to buy the things that they can take for their children or home or mail from here. So these seafarers need a place like this so badly.
A fleet of courtesy vans is available to take them to stores, theaters, medical facilities, local attractions, and more. As a nonprofit organization, the ISC has a big heart but a small budget, and it's able to provide its services thanks to donations from partners in the goods movement industry and other charitable organizations, volunteers, and dedicated staff. Providing our international guests with hospitality and a place where communion with others transcends cultural, religious, and ethnic differences is a true gift. For more information on how you can support the ISC, call 562-432-7560.
What a terrific job. Thanks to all who volunteer and dedicate their time to do such great work. I'd like to recognize one volunteer in particular, our Harbor Department's own Tony Urrutia, a financial reporting and controls officer. For 16 years, he's volunteered his time to help the Seafarer Center with its bookkeeping. Tony, please join me here at the podium. I'd like to ask another key volunteer. Yes. I'd like to ask another key volunteer, Jim Dillman of Metro Ports, who heads the Seafarer Center's executive board, to also come up. And to show our appreciation, let me also ask our harbor commissioners to please come up to present certificates of appreciation. Commissioners? I might also add that our Harbor Commissioner, Rich Dines, also is a member of the board of this organization. Thanks. The Seafarer Center is kicking off its campaign to raise funds to help the Philippines, which, as you all know, was devastated by a super typhoon late last year. If you would like more information on how you can be involved, please visit their booth located just outside the ballroom. Now it's my pleasure to welcome the President of the Long Beach Board of Harbor Commissioners, Doug Drummond, for his thoughts on the state of the port.
Thank you, Noel, and thanks to all of you for sharing your morning with us. Speaking on behalf of my fellow harbor commissioners, I want to take a few minutes to tell you how excited we are about the progress in the port. Lorianne Farrell joined the board a few weeks ago, adding her financial expertise to our already strong team. Commissioner Farrell is the Director of Finance at the City of Huntington Beach, and before that, held a similar position for the City of Long Beach. With that background, she's already hit the ground running. Commissioner Rich Dines is a longshoreman with a real insider's understanding of the port. He has nearly 20 years of experience on the docks, and he provides the board with his perspective on how to make the port more efficient, competitive, and sustainable. He is a man to listen to. Commissioner Susan Wise is an attorney with deep roots in our city. She's brought many new ideas and initiatives to the board and has been a passionate champion of women in the industry. Many of you know me, if not as the commissioner, perhaps as a former city council member, police officer, or a longtime resident. I love our city and its rich history. I'm so proud to be part of this commission with our diverse backgrounds, all focused on making us the best port in the world. We are all proud Long Beach residents. We're honored to serve this great community by serving the port. This entire city can be proud. The city of Long Beach has turned mud flats into a great port and one of the region's most valuable economic engines. This is a very dynamic port. While this commission is going through a transition, let me assure you that we're committed to moving this port forward in the right direction. And speaking of moving, as many of you may know, we're relocating our Harbor Department staff to an interim headquarters near the Long Beach Airport in the coming weeks. Our current headquarters is not designed to today's earthquake standards. This is only a temporary move. We recognize that our true home is near the waterfront, so we'll be back. That's our commitment. Now, our number one priority at the port remains to complete our projects under construction, on time, and on budget so that we can all benefit from these massive improvements. Al Moro will give you the details. Another top priority is hiring an executive director who is worthy of the Port of Long Beach. We're making great progress in that search. Until that person is hired, Al Moro and his team have done a spectacular job. They have our full confidence. Al has been in charge since last summer, and I know no one could have done a better job. Our cargo numbers are up. The exports are the best in the history of this port. Give Al a big hand. I'd also like to thank our customers and all of those who work in the port. You all deserve a hand. Together, all of us at the Port of Long Beach are dedicated to the same goal, making this port the finest in the world. I'm confident that this commission will do the best job possible for our customers, industry stakeholders, our staff, and residents of the city of Long Beach. But it is teamwork and partnerships with all of you that will enable the Port of Long Beach not only to thrive, but to flourish. Here is to a spectacular 2014. Thank you. And now let me ask Al Moro to present the 2014 State of the Port Address. Al.
Well, thank you and good morning. I'm glad to see that so many of you could join us this morning for the biggest ever State of the Port. Let me begin by thanking President Drummond and the rest of the commissioners for their confidence in me. You know, until last year, I was the chief harbor engineer, deeply involved in all the port's development. Then last summer, the commissions named me as their interim executive director. Long Beach is one of the greatest seaports. Being involved in the capital improvement program was already an engineer's dream for me. When the commissioners asked me to lead the port through this transition, I was very honored. But I was also very humbled by the size and scope of the responsibility. When I started here 17 years ago, we were developing a 60-acre terminal. I thought that was a big job. Today, we're working on a facility that is over 300 acres in size. Port logistics are much more complex and sophisticated. The competition is much more intense. The stakes are so much higher. But fortunately, I have a great team at the Harbor Department. We have the top staff of any port, experts and professionals in every aspect of port operations, 450 outstanding men and women. Some of you are here today. Please stand and be recognized for making our port the greatest seaport in the nation. I think they deserve a round of applause. Thank you. Good guys. We've got some out in the back 40 there. My gosh, okay. This remains a challenging time for the port and our entire industry. The Great Recession of 2008 and 9 hit everyone really hard. Our business initially plunged by 1/3. We're rebounding, but other ports want to take our business and our jobs. Competition is coming from everywhere: Panama, the East Coast, Mexico, Canada, even right next door. But like most of you here, we've had to re-examine our expenses. We've tightened our belt and we cut where we could. It's definitely been a hard climb back. Now, 5 years after our worst days, and because we've been fiscally strong, I'm here today to tell you that at the port, we're putting the recession behind us. And I see much brighter days ahead. Why am I so positive? Well, let's start with big ships. Until a couple of years ago, the biggest ships coming here carried 8,000 TEUs. For those of you not familiar with TEU, it stands for 20-foot equivalent unit. Those are the steel boxes, 20 or 40 feet long, 8 feet wide, 8 feet high. They're on the trucks, the trains, and the ships. They're filled with our clothing, shoes, electronic devices. It's what we find in the shopping malls and in our homes. 2 years ago, we leaped ahead of other U.S. ports when the first 14,000 TEU ship came to Long Beach. Now, let's flash ahead to late last year. 3 more 14,000 TEU vessels called here. 2 operated by Mediterranean Shipping Company and the other by CMA CGM. These big ships are now part of a service that call at the port regularly, and more are coming. I'd like to thank MSC and CMA CGM for bringing that business to us. These ships are, thank you. These ships are longer than 3 football fields. Yes, take a look. Too big to fit inside the Rose Bowl. These ships are already so big, they won't be able to pass through the expanded Panama Canal, which won't even be complete until next year. Few other seaports in North America are big ship ready, but we're ready now. That makes us more competitive, bringing more business and more jobs to our community. And we need to keep working hard and be ready for the next generation of even bigger ships. Now, please understand, we work for the City of Long Beach Harbor Department. We don't actually move the cargo. We're a landlord port. We build the facilities and lease them to private operators. So it's the terminal operators, the ocean carriers, the ILWU, the railroads, the truckers who actually move the cargo. They're the ones who are really big ship ready. Building bigger facilities is just the beginning. Operating terminals efficiently is also critical. So at the port, we're enhancing productivity together with our partners, and it's working. At a Journal of Commerce conference last month, the Port of Long Beach was named the most productive port in North America. And last year, for the 16th time in 18 years, we were named the best seaport in North America by Cargo Asia News. This recognition is the result of not only our hard work, but yours. So I say, give yourselves a round of applause for working so hard. Frank, good job. Very good. All right. Now let's look at more of the results. Our cargo numbers were up last year by an impressive 11.3%. We grew faster than any major port in North America, and 4 times faster than the U.S. economy. I want to say that again, 4 times faster than the U.S. economy. Yes, yes. In total, our shipping terminals moved 6.7 TEUs, 6.7 million TEUs. This makes 2013 the 3rd best year in our port's history. In the next 2 years, we expect to surpass 7 million TEUs, our peak before the recession. Our economy is getting better, and the Port of Long Beach is leading the way. Cargo gains translate to more jobs at the port and throughout the region. Our port supports 30,000 jobs in Long Beach, 300,000 jobs regionally, and 1.5 million jobs nationally. More trade also means more revenue, money that we are reinvesting in our port facilities and in community programs. Even with the belt tightening I spoke of earlier, our net income this year is projected at an all-time high of $180 million. No port does better than that. It's important to understand we don't rely on taxpayers for support. Most other ports are subsidized by taxpayers. Not here, not here. Because of our financial strength, every year we're able to transfer millions to the city's Tidelands Fund for great community beachfront projects and marina projects. We also invest in port operations, the development of terminals, roadways, railroads, the facilities that make our port work better and generate revenue. I think that development is one of the most exciting things that we do. Now, many people deserve credit, but I'd like to give special thanks to our Engineering Bureau for their great work in improving our infrastructure. Now, I know these men and women. I'll tell you what, everybody with a pocket protector, stand up and be recognized. I agree. The port is in the midst of a capital improvement program that will top $4 billion this decade. That's a huge investment, the biggest by any port in the nation. And the rewards to our customers and community and the region will be huge too. This year alone, the Board of Harbor Commissioners approved $788 million for capital improvement projects. That represents the port's biggest ever one-year investment in infrastructure. You can hardly drive anywhere in the port without running into construction activity. These projects create 3,000 to 5,000 construction jobs, and thousands more permanent jobs will be added over time as a result of the improvements we're making today. As I said, this is a great time to be at the Port of Long Beach. Let me take you on a little tour of what's going on at the docks right now. Please look at the videos here. Welcome to the best view at the Port of Long Beach. We're standing on top of one of the new stacking cranes for the Middle Harbor project. Right here, we're at the epicenter of where all the new construction at the Port of Long Beach is underway. Just over there, right behind me, is the existing Gerald Desmond Bridge. We've got a new bridge project underway. That existing deck is about 155 feet in the air. The new deck with the new bridge is going to be over 200 feet up in the air. The towers that support that deck are going to be 520 feet up in the air. This beautiful, iconic engineering marvel will be a can't-miss addition to our city and region. You'll be able to see it clearly from the 405 freeway, especially at night. That's really impressive. We're not just building a 1.5-mile bridge connecting the ports of Long Beach and Los Angeles, we're also engineering a new infrastructure system. We've already demolished a major off-ramp and will soon start the process of building a freeway interchange to create a seamless connection to the 710 freeway. It's going to be the first cable-stayed bridge in the state of California. Most bridges of this size are suspension bridges, like the Vincent Thomas. That design requires cables to be strung over the tops of towers, then more cables attached to the bridge deck. A cable-stayed bridge is a much more economical design. The cables are strung directly from the towers to the deck. Fewer building materials are used. This makes it much less costly to build. It's amazing what's going up. What's also amazing is what's going down. The foundation for that new bridge is going to be well over 200 feet down into the ground. And in order to prepare the foundation for the new bridge, we had to relocate miles of utility lines and abandon many, many oil wells. This was a monumental challenge, as it's the first time a bridge has ever been built over an active oil field. 7-foot wide pipes had to be forced as deep as 250 feet into the ground to seal off old wells, to make sure those wells won't be in the way of the bridge's 300 support pilings. Crews will begin placing the pilings in the next few months. If you'd like to keep up with the progress of the new bridge, I suggest you download our smartphone or tablet app. It gives you a live camera view of the bridge progress and also updates you on traffic condition. While all this construction work's underway, I think you'll find it helpful and help us mitigate the impacts of the new construction. But the bridge project is just one of the many construction projects we have underway here at the Port of Long Beach. I'm standing on one of the new stacking cranes for the Middle Harbor project. This massive crane will span over 9 boxes wide and 6 high. The stacking cranes used at LBCT today only go 6 wide and 4 high. These 250 metric ton mega machines are a huge upgrade. 10 of these massive cranes have already rolled onto the docks here at Middle Harbor, and another 60 are on the way. All around, you can see just how much has already been accomplished. 1,400 feet of new wharf was completed in the last year, with another 1,400 to be finished this year. This half-mile section will accommodate 2 of the world's largest container vessels at the same time. The North Operations Building is the first structure on the site and will house IT operation, the brains of this all-electric and ultra-green terminal. It's nearly complete and will be ready for LBCT employees to move in early this year. It's right alongside another port first, as these reefer racks will store refrigerated containers, plugging them in 8 wide and 5 high. It's a critical space saver and unique to ports on the West Coast. When it's all finished, this terminal will be capable of handling 3 million TEUs each year. Today, that would rank Middle Harbor as the 4th busiest port in North America, all by itself. And because much of the operation is all electric, we're going to cut pollution. In fact, we're going to cut pollution in half. That's quite a feat. But before I step down, yes, 100 steps that I climbed up, let's take one last look. This is quite amazing, isn't it? Pretty amazing stuff, don't you think? Pretty amazing. Now, the marvel of Middle Harbor is only possible because of our partners. OOCL and LBCT have signed a 40-year lease, a long-term commitment for Long Beach. Now they're spending more than $500 million in new equipment, just like the cranes you just saw. Will the OOCL and LBCT executives that are here today please stand and be recognized for their commitment with Long Beach, please. Thank you. Now, I know Anthony Otto, the president of LBCT, wanted to be here. He's back east on business. Anthony Otto has been a great partner with Long Beach, a very great partner. And I'd also like to thank OOCL for their civic involvement. They donated $100,000 for a brand new park right here in Long Beach. Thank you, OOCL. Thank you. One of the most frequently asked questions by our citizens is, what are we doing to keep the port safe and secure? Last year, we re-examined our collaboration with our security partners, especially Long Beach Fire and PD. Since 9/11, our approach has relied on the many strengths of multiple law enforcement and safety agencies. So we improved our interagency communications. We've added advanced technologies, surveillance cameras, and radiation portals. Last year, after a comprehensive review, we added more officers in the field, our own Harbor Patrol officers and Long Beach Police. And we're upgrading technology. We placed a $50 million order for 2 of the world's most advanced fireboats, and 2 new fire stations are under development. Let me thank our security partners, our own security and Harbor Patrol staff, Long Beach Police, Fire, Coast Guard, and Customs. Please stand and be recognized for your great job. Great. Captain Jenkins, thank you very much. Chief McDonald, thank you. Chief DeRee, thank you very much. Thank you. Not only are we proud of our security partners and proud of what we do to help the economy, we're also extremely proud that we've improved the environment. You can see and breathe the difference. Just a few years ago, who imagined this was possible? Even when the Harbor Commissioners adopted our landmark Green Port policy in 2005, there were doubts. But now there's been an amazing 81% decrease in diesel emissions from port-related sources. Yeah, 30%, 40%, even 50% would have been great, but 81%, just imagine that, 81%. It's the result of an epic transformation. Some of it came from fairly simple things like slowing down ships so they could run cleaner. Other initiatives required really tough changes. Some predicted that we'd scare away business, but we persisted in pushing for cleaner fuels, trucks, trains, tugs, and ships. This last October, we marked the 5th anniversary of our landmark Clean Trucks program. This required our trucking partners to use only the cleanest trucks. They had to purchase 11,000 new trucks, costing more than $100,000 each. Crazy? I say no. We far exceeded our expectations. Not only did we improve air quality, our program launched hundreds of now prosperous small businesses. The truck owners, the truck operators, through lease-to-own programs, have begun to take ownership of their clean trucks. Let's recognize the trucking companies and the small business owners for making that possible. I know TSI's here, Progressive, Fox, Swift, Golden State Express, Ability Trimodal. Thank you much. Now the state is requiring clean trucks at all California ports. And the state is also following our lead with a program requiring ships to significantly reduce emissions. The Port of Long Beach is truly the most influential port in the world. In recent years, we've built facilities that make it possible for ships to plug into electricity while at berth. That's the same as taking 42,000 cars off the road when just one ship plugs in and turns off its diesel engines for one day. The bottom line, ship emissions dropped by 95%. This didn't come cheap. We invested close to $175 million in the last 6 years to electrify our berths. And the shipping lines spent millions of dollars to retrofit their vessels. We built these facilities in working terminals, some of the busiest in the nation. That accomplishment was made possible through the incredible cooperation with our terminal operators. But we're not done. Our goal is to be the world's first zero-emissions port and the most sustainable. Because we're electrifying so much of our operations, we've adopted an energy policy focusing on conservation, efficiency, and resiliency. This helps all of us when we reduce electricity demand. This innovative policy will ensure that the Port of Long Beach will always have ready and secure supply of electricity to power our cargo handling operations, especially in times of an emergency. Now, it's also important to credit our terminal operators and vessel operators, truckers, and others for their major investment in sustainability. I'm talking about many of you right here in the audience. We couldn't have accomplished any of this without your participation. Together, we're building the Port of Long Beach right here in Long Beach. We're proud of our hard work that keeps this port competitive, and we're also proud of our contributions to the Long Beach community. Last year, the Harbor Commission awarded $2.5 million in community grants for 32 projects in Long Beach, air filtering systems for classrooms and park centers, health education for families with asthma, and mobile medical clinics. In the past 5 years, the total of these grants has reached $18 million. So children can breathe easier, so families can learn how to improve their health, so Long Beach is a better place to live and work. But we don't stop there. The Harbor Commissioners have awarded hundreds of thousands of dollars to sponsor community activities, including education and arts programs, the Long Beach Grand Prix, municipal band concerts, parades, and civic activities. And to help prepare tomorrow's leaders, the Commission awarded $60,000 in scholarships last year. Since 1993, the Port has presented more than $500,000 in scholarships to almost 300 high school and college students. Now, I've been a member of the committee that reviews the applications. So many are memorable, like the students who write that our scholarships make it possible for them to be the very first in their family to go on to college. Miguel Gonzalez is here today. He's an engineering student at Cal State Long Beach. I think we deserve to give him a round of applause. Miguel, thank you. A fine young man. Fine young man. We're so proud of these social responsibility initiatives, and we're committed to continuing them for future generations. We've got a lot on our plate and so many challenges, but so much is changing for the better, for us, for you, for the nation as a whole. The U.S. economy has finally turned a corner. The stock market is booming. Unemployment is declining. At the port, we see the upturn reflected in our cargo numbers, up 11% last year. And we see so many signs that our gains will continue this coming year. We're investing nearly $800 million to allow our customers to be more productive and bring still more business and jobs to Long Beach. A new bridge is going up. Middle Harbor is taking shape. Let me show you one more big engineering marvel. Wow, that's something. That's the very latest arrival at Middle Harbor. 2 brand new ship-to-shore gantry cranes with the next generation technology, the biggest, most advanced in all of America. As you can see, we're ready to rise above our competition with bigger, better green port facilities. The future is bright. And for us at Long Beach, the future is big. Thank you. Thank you very much.
you. Let's give Al Moro another round of applause. On behalf of the 450 employees at the Harbor Department and our 4 harbor commissioners, thank you so very much for spending this morning with us. Goodbye.